A Legend of the Northland, written by Phoebe Cary. The poem is set in an icy region of the north. In this region, the days are short and the nights so long and cold that people find it difficult to sleep at night. When it snows, the people of the region harness reindeers to sledges. The children of this land look like bear cubs because they wear clothes made of fur. In this part of the land, the people tell a strange story. While the author finds it difficult to believe in the story, she does feel that one can learn a valuable lesson from it. Saint Peter walked the world preaching the word of God. Once on his travels, he visited the cold Northland, a region in the North Pole. In Northland, he came upon a cottage. Inside the cottage, a woman was whipping cakes and then baking them on the hearth. A hearth is the flow of a fireplace. Now, Saint Peter was hungry after a full day of fasting and preaching. So he asked the woman for a cake from her store. The woman obligingly made him a little cake. However, when she saw the cake, she thought it was too large to give Saint Peter. So she made another cake smaller than the previous one. She again thought it was too large to give away. Finally, she took a little dough and rolled it into a thin bread. But as she took it out after baking, she found it difficult to part with her thin bread. She thought that her cakes seemed small when she ate them. However, when asked to give away her cakes, she found them too large. So she put all the cakes on her shelf. Saint Peter, who was hungry and tired, grew angry. In anger, he told the woman that she was too selfish a human being to deserve food and warm shelter. Then he cursed her to a hard life of building her own nest and digging through wood to find nourishment. As Peter said these words, the woman lost her speech and transformed into a bird. The scarlet cap she was wearing was all that was left of her clothes. She flew up the chimney as her clothes burned to ashes and came out as a woodpecker. So now every schoolboy can see her in the wood where she lives to this day, drilling for food. Let's take a look at the literary elements of the poem. The poem A Legend of the Northland is a ballad. A ballad is a kind of poem that tells a story in the form of short stanzas, and each stanza is of 4 lines. It is a part of folk culture and passed on to posterity in oral form. The story of the poem is all set in the Northland, which is situated near the North Pole. The exact place is not at all mentioned in the poem. The legend here means a historic and a very old story that has been passed on to generations. Assonance. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sound. In stanza 1, away, away in the Northland. Here, away, away is the example of assonance. Next, repetition. Repetition is the repeating words for emphasis. For example, in stanza 1, away, away. In stanza 9, rolled and rolled. Boring and boring and boring in stanza 13. Next literary element is imagery. Away, away in the Northland, the first line, in the Northland, is an example of imagery. Where they harness the swift reindeer, here harness the swift reindeer and bear's cubs are the examples of imagery. Oiled in the hard, dry wood, she had a scarlet cap on her head, here hard, dry wood, scarlet cap, black as a coal. These are the instances of imagery. Next, rhyme scheme of the poem. Look at these lines very carefully. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. Few, through. So the rhyme scheme will be A, B, C, B.